Today we're going to talk about the 5 things I hate about the VinFast VF e34.
Take effing action, put it together, and subscribe to Tom Penn's channel on YouTube now. Yeah, I like it. It's crazy.
Hate is a strong word. When I say I hate something about this car, I don't mean that I hate this car. In fact, I love this car. I love this car so much. I drive it every day. You know, it's such a fun little car to drive, and it's electric. But if I have to pick 5 things that I don't like about this car, then let me think really hard and give you 5 things that I dislike about this car, alright? So the number 1 thing I really dislike about this car is the navigational map, alright? The navigational map is not as refined as, say, Google Maps. Like, I'm sure you have used Google Maps for driving directions and so on, and it is just so much more intuitive. It's easy to understand, and you are exactly where the map tells you. Whereas with the VinFast navigational map, sometimes you're several seconds or several hundreds of meters behind where you're supposed to be. And when I am using the navigational map in my VinFast, oftentimes I miss turns. I miss turns because the map tells me I'm not there yet, but I'm already there. So that is really inconvenient. So I don't rely on my navigational map in my VinFast. I assume this is another software issue that VinFast need to address. And also sometimes it doesn't give you the best route. I don't trust the map enough to use it. I continue to use Google Maps because it gives you the best navigational experience and most accurate data. The number 2 thing that I say I have some problem with this car is the car was released without robust software. So I don't think they have completely ironed out all the bugs in the software. So there are a lot of problems. In fact, yesterday I had a catastrophic error showing on my center dash and saying that my battery has some problems and you need to stop the car immediately and call VinFast, which I did. And apparently it's just a software issue, right? So there's still a numerous number of bugs in the software, and I get it, I understand. Like I said this before, software takes time to perfect. You cannot fix everything in 10 minutes, right? Especially software for a car. They really have to be careful with how they program code the software and then go through rigorous testing, right? You cannot release software for a car just like in 10 minutes without proper testing, because that could cost human lives. What if the software is bad and you get into a crash, right? So I get it. It takes time to write good software and test it, make sure it's robust, it's reliable, it's problem-free. Right now, the software is not quite there yet, but I believe over time the software will get better and better and better and better. But right now, today, I would say it's a problem. It's a problem with the software. I'm an early pioneer, so I understand that I'm one of the first people to buy this car. So in a way, I'm beta testing the car for VinFast, right? I get it, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But if you're buying this car and expect a perfect car, then maybe your expectations are a little bit too high. Maybe you should wait a little bit because the software issues have not been completely sorted out. The number 3 thing that I kind of dislike about this car is the constant beeping. You see, this car has a lot of safety features. For example, it will actually warn you if you cross the lane, all right? It will actually warn you when a motorbike gets close to the car. It will actually warn you if you're about to hit something. So it has a lot of sensors around this car. And constantly, the car is beeping at you. You can turn these things off, by the way, but if you have everything on, the car will constantly beep, 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 and you don't know actually why it is beeping at you, because all of the beeps sound similar. So there could be one beep for changing lane, There could be one beep for something's getting close to you. There could be one beep for, you're about to hit something, but you don't know which one it actually is. Who is that? Hello? What are you doing? Somebody is taking car with my picture with my Bentley. Hello, dude. Somebody taking picture with my Bentley. I should make fun of them. But anyways, yeah, people come to my villa to take pictures with my cars. I don't know why. And the last time there was like 3 girls like lying against the car, and they probably broke something and shit. I don't really like it. Let's go back and take a look at what they're doing. So there's constant beeping in this car, and sometimes you can't tell what the beeps are for. And when you can't tell what the beeps are for, then it kind of loses its meaning. So I think an improvement would be to make the sound very distinct. So if it's a changing lane warning, it should sound like a changing lane warning. If it's something getting too close, it should sound like something's getting too close. So you can distinguish, what kind of error the car is giving me, right? And also, I appreciate that there's so many, safety features, safety aids, like lane change. But you have to understand, driving in Vietnam, you kind of cannot drive inside the lane because there's motorbikes everywhere. They're cutting you off, and you're constantly going in and out of the lanes, right? That's not ideal. I'm not saying it's good, but that's just the reality. Traffic in Ho Chi Minh City is really, really chaotic. If you have the lane change warning on, it's gonna constantly beep at you because you're constantly going in and out of lanes. So that's effectively a useless feature, and you gotta turn it off because the beeping will drive you nuts. The number 4 thing that I don't really appreciate the VinFast VF e34 for is its braking. Let me be clear, alright? The braking on this car is great. I love the braking on this car. It feels very responsive, and it actually can brake pretty fast. Not terrible, I would say. But what I have a small problem with is when you are at low speed, and let me demonstrate, right? And you're trying to come to a stop, it feels very abrupt. It's like that, okay? Like that. And it's really hard to get it to stop softly. It's almost impossible. I think this also has to do with the software because it's electric motor driven. So the electric motor is always pushing the car, and you're braking, and it's like that. You cannot brake softly. And also you have to press the brake pretty hard in order to stay stopped. Otherwise, if you just let go a little bit, the car's gonna go, right? So it's very different compared to my Mercedes or Bentley, where you just have to press the brake lightly, the car will stay there. But this one, you really have to push it in order for the car to stay stopped. And the braking at slow speed is just too abrupt for me. It's like you can't brake really softly. It's like that, and that can be uncomfortable, particularly for passengers. For me, I don't really care, all right? I don't really care, but this could be a problem for passengers. They might want to throw up after too many abrupt brakes. The number 5 thing that I have a problem with this car is that, well, it's not a really fair one because again, this is a fairly new introduction to the market, right? But the issue I have here is the lack of infrastructure, the lack of charging stations. So right now today, if I want to charge this car, I have to go to a fast charging station, usually at a VinCom Center. So VinCom Center District 1 or VinCom Center District 2. Those are pretty much the only places I can go charge up this car. Otherwise, there's really no other options. And because right now today, still very few people own this car, so it's not really a big problem. Plus, VinCom Center is on the way back home from work, so it's always very convenient for me. But if I'm planning to go somewhere else, or if I'm planning to take a trip to Vung Tau, for example, I would not take this car because there's simply not enough facilities. I cannot guarantee that I will not run out of electricity, right? So this is really a city car, and every time you take this car out, you kind of have to plan. You gotta figure out how much battery power you have and how far you're gonna go. You gotta make that calculation in your brain. You gotta kind of plan out your day. Otherwise, you might actually end up stranded. And I think that is a problem. And the only way that problem will resolve itself is with more charging stations. With more charging stations, the consumer will feel more confident. They're more willing to take this car to different locations, different places, even outside the city, because they know they can always go into a fast charging station, spend 30 minutes to an hour there, and get the car to almost fully charged state. And but right now, today, that does not exist. But I believe that VinFast will rectify this issue fairly quickly, because of this. VinFast electric cars getting more and more popular, and I know they will, because look, I'm making this video because a lot of people watch this type of content. People are looking for this type of content. My VinFast videos are some of the highest viewed videos in my channel, so I know this is going to be popular. All right, for this to truly take off, more charging stations. So those are my shut up. I didn't ask you. So these are my 5 dislikes about the VinFast VF e34. Again, I don't hate this car. I love this car. This car, drives so well, drives so good. Like, I love driving this car. It feels so very comfortable. I feel confident when I'm behind the wheels, and I have no fear in pressing the pedal down and go fast in this car. And this car actually feels fast. All right. So take some fucking action and don't be a fucktard.